Hey guys, Scott back again with a new beer dissection video for you guys. What we're going to cover today, again, it's one of those beers in the midway. It's not uncommon, but for some of you, you may not have had it or it's been a very long time. But it's going to be Cigar City's Alai. Okay, I think it's named after the game played in southern. I think it's originally a Spanish game, Alai, but they play a lot in Florida. You know, the big wickets. I remember watching Miami Vice in the 80s, and then the opening or closing credits would have the game. But Cigar City is out of Tampa, Florida. They were bought out, I believe, a handful of years ago by Big Beer, AB and Bev. I think they make Maduro, which is a brown ale. There's a bunch of other beers. I've never been to the brewery in Florida. I don't know if they branched out and opened up other satellite breweries from there. But Alai, it's an India Pale Ale. Checks in at 7.5% alcohol, 65 IBU. So we're expecting, very pronounced or assertive bitterness. Like I said, it's been around for quite a while. I've had it before. I haven't quite, since I started my channel here, I haven't had it since then. So being a home brewer, I did do a clone of this beer a while back. So, with clones, they try to get very close to the hops. I actually thought I nailed it pretty well with it, but that was going back a couple of years ago. So again, Alai India Pale Ale. What they say, a merry game of Alai provides inspiration for the citrus-forward IPA. So we'll take a look at it. And what is looks like the canning date was on July 18, 2022. Again, it would like a little bit fresher, but, I'm sure as long as it was stored pretty well, it may not be too bad, but we'll find out when we open it up. If there's any signs of oxidation, I'll let you know. Again, 65 IBUs, 7.5% alcohol. So again, I do recommend, as I always say, drink with beers out of what you want to drink it out of, but I usually use my tulip glasses or something with a nice wide taper there to allow the aromas from the hops as well as the malt to kind of get up to the forefront of your nose. Okay, so Cigar City Alai. Okay, get no other specs I can think of. So let's crack this bad boy open. It's usually pretty readily available in most beer stores, even grocery stores. So you shouldn't have a hard time finding this, especially since it is now, I guess, technically called Big Beer. So let's pour this out. Okay. So for the review, I don't like to fill it up too much. So what do we have here? Kind of a deep gold, medium to darker gold, pretty clear beer. Nice, about an inch of white to tan, foam head on there. A little bit of chill haze. I did say clear, but there's probably a tiny bit of chill haze. But with most of these hoppy beers with the polyphenols, you've heard me say before, this is not a New England IPA. They call it American IPA. So I don't expect that they were using any type of, see if I took any notes on it. No, any oats or things like that to add to any haze. So but it's for the most part, it's pretty clear. There's just maybe a slight bit of chill haze. So let's take a sniff of the aroma. Okay. Nice. Citrus, orange, mandarin, tangerine. You pick your poison as far as like an orange type of citrus aroma. You kind of get a little bit, you see the color. They're probably using a little crystal malt in there. There is some sweetness, light toast, bread crust, breadcrumb type of malt aroma. But very nice. Again, like I said, I've had this beer before, but it's not something that I've really been analyzing. I usually just drink it, enjoy it, and that's it. They do say, I think I did take a couple of notes here, being at 7.5% alcohol, they use 6 different hops. Nowadays, most of these IPAs are being, of course, there's the initial boiling hops, which gives you the bitterness, and then 15, 20 minutes at the end of the boil, you get your hops that are more biased towards flavor. And then, of course, when the boil's over, right, they add the hops for aroma. And then, of course, a lot of these beers are dry hopping, which is right about several days before packaging. They'll hit it with hops again, usually about 3 days or 4 days. But very nice. I guess I get a little bit of that white grape-ish type of aroma too. But again, the color doesn't look like it's oxidized. I'm not getting any of that. There's still enough pronounced aroma there. So I'm thinking that this is, even though the date wasn't too impressive as far as the canning bottling date, that I think we're still going to be okay here. All right, so again, 65 IBUs. Let's take a swig here. Okay. Right up front, pretty sharp carbonic bite. And the hops hit you, which you would expect with that pronounced to assertive bitterness sitting at, what did I say, 65 IBUs. There's a little bit of that warmth, alcoholic warmth, and it is about 7.5%. So that's kind of my wheelhouse where I start feeling it on my, taste buds here. But orange pithy, because you kind of combine that bitterness with the orange. I get a little lemon on there with some of the citrus notes. The malt, again, a light toast. Again, bread crust, typical because they're probably using some of the crystal caramel malts in there. Medium bodied. But there is a little bit of that astringency, which again could be from the bitterness, a combination of the assertive bitterness, the carbonation, and the alcoholic warmth that kind of hits you a little bit on the front end. As I'm sitting here trying to get the aftertaste, you get, the orange kind of dies out. And again, the orange isn't hitting you like orange juice, obviously. It's kind of, more of like a pithy, when you eat the little bitter, when you eat the white of the orange, when you peel it. And again, a little bit of that lemon. What's good is I'm not getting that vegetative. Sometimes if I get some IPAs that are a little bit older, I get that vegetative quality. I'm not getting that here. I'm getting some lacing on the glass, which is nice. But very good. I mean, this is why, when you're a home brewer, you're very selective on what you want to brew. And, Cigar City, this beer has been around for a while, and it really is enjoyable. If I was giving it a ranking on IPAs, especially, I kind of consider them one of the bigger boys these days. A solid B plus type of beer. You will find beers that, if you like a little bit more grapefruit, you want to probably go a little more towards the New England IPA. This does not give you that fruit juice type of quality. If you like that, this is not the beer for you. It has enough citrus and enough fruit to it that you do enjoy that, classically for IPAs. But it's not blowing you away like orange juice or pineapple juice or mango juice type of stuff. And there is enough balance, even though this is more hop dominant, that there's a little bit of that behind the scenes kind of malt profile that it's not all hops. And there is definitely enough bitterness. This is a classic pairing with blue cheeses, maybe even Stilton, cheddar cheeses, fondue. It would kind of cut through that very well. Definitely some, even fish and chips or chicken fried steaks, things that, it would definitely cut through some of your fatty dishes, and has enough malt profile to kind of balance the intensity a little bit with some of your caramelized or Maillard reactions on some of your meats and You know, like if you had some chicken that was grilled and you had some potatoes, you know, caramelized potatoes or broiled potatoes in the oven. So again, guys, Cigar City, bring it up to camera again one more time for you guys. Alai, okay. Not a new beer, okay. Not one of these like small little nano microbreweries. This particular can, you know, it's not like kind of like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. You know, it's a good standby beer if you want, you know, something easily available. It's typically pretty consistent as long as the local beer store and the brewery handle it properly, that you're going to get pretty much almost the same tasting beer every single time. Sometimes I find that important too. Will you find a better IPA out there? Yeah, there are out there, especially some of your microbreweries are going to have it even fresher than this. But if you want a good IPA, you're maybe in a store you're not that familiar with, you're in a grocery store, I would go with Cigar City. And Cigar City, I've had some other styles from them, and so again, they've always been pretty consistent. So again, guys, beer dissection, Cigar City, Alai, India Pale Ale. Until next time, I would check it out. If you've never had it before, you may be pleasantly surprised, but it definitely has a pretty pronounced bitterness to it. All right, guys, have a good one.